So it's the best thing I've said multiple times is just the work ethic that you get in hospitality. Because while my friends were at university and had casual jobs where they maybe worked in a shop, in at the mall for $20 an hour for 4 hours on a Saturday morning, I was in that restaurant 60 hours a week from the age of 17. Like you get there at, some jobs I was there 7 a.m. until 1 a.m., 5 days in a row, and you don't sit down for 15, 16, 17 hours a day. And you just work hard, you work fast, under pressure, in a small team. That was the best thing about it. And so I say even now, even though I hope to have, similar circumstances for my daughters that my parents had for me, I am going to really push them to get their first teenage jobs in hospitality, because the life skills you get to work with people, to work hard, to work fast, to work when you're tired, to be uncomfortable, to even just burn your hand on something and then carry on working. I think that's fantastic. Really thick skin. The worst thing about it, which was really interesting, was that as I worked in better and better restaurants, the attitude in the kitchen got worse. And so at the lower end cafes, restaurants, and in Australia, they have a rating system out of 20. In the restaurants, around 14 out of 20, everyone's a team, everyone's best mates. You finish work and you might go for a beer together. Everyone helps each other out. As I moved into those 17, 18 out of 20 restaurants, some of the best in the country, it became almost like a competition against the people you're working with, and almost as if everyone's trying to prove who's the best. And for me, that didn't work. So I didn't actually last very long in the kitchen of the really high-end restaurants, because I got there and I was trying to, like you said, maybe not take myself so seriously. I'd crack a joke. I was used to kind of being mates with my colleagues. And I went from being popular to being the least liked person in the kitchen, because I didn't have the same maybe passion or the same drive or the same, relentless ambition in that kitchen as everyone else. And I thought I did until I got there. And instead of lifting me up, they pushed me down. And so that was an interesting thing for me. That didn't happen in all the restaurants, all the good restaurants I worked in. I found some which were fantastic. But there's one particular restaurant, it was my dream to work there. When I went there, everyone thought they were better than everyone else. And I imagine it's a bit like that cutthroat high-end business that we see in movies and TV, where everyone's got it in for each other. Rather than being a team, it's like proving that they're better than everyone else. And so that was really interesting, quite disappointing for me up the high end of hospitality.
Lovely. Thank you for answering that question in so much detail and giving us examples, because that kind of clears out a lot of things. I like to talk about the worst situation that you were in, which was very interesting, because I think you figured out what sort of environment you really like to work in. So I always say that it's all within you. It's how you look at yourself and how you build the thoughts. But I also believe that it's also very important whom you're surrounded with. And I think that was the case which you're mentioning, and a lot of us do face that. So going forward, for listeners, in your career or in your own, if you have your own business, it is definitely important that what you think of the business, what you think about yourself, what you want. But there's also a little bit of external factor, which is the people that you're surrounded with, that how you grow as a team. And it is always a team work, unless it is very direct. You are the only person who's responsible for everything. So in any career that you are, it's always a teamwork. Even at home, a family, it's a teamwork. So I think having good people around is something which can really help you, really go from point A to